So I am in front of the Goldman Theater. I'm going to just try to break in, see what this is about here. So this is where Jekyll and Hyde is taking place. And oh, there's an actress. Look at these really cool doors and the set. Looks like it's all smoky and spooky and stuff. But I don't know. Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
What are you doing here? Get out of here!
Okay, gotta go, guys. Bye. So I am here with Yao from the Orlando Shakespeare Theater's costume department, and she's just going to tell us a little bit about how the costumes get started, and these are Jekyll and Hyde sketches. So go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. So Jekyll and Hyde was a story rewrite by Geoffrey Hatcher, who is an American playwright, and it's originally happened in London, in England, in the Victorian period, around 1883 to 1888. So it's a very specific period. But the challenge for this show is we have 6 characters play over 20 roles. So the floating of the speed is very, very important. Like, for instance, I have to be someone in the next second. So we're trying to work together, like all different departments, especially as staging, acting, lighting, scenic, and costume, of course. So we're trying to move to the same direction. So generally, we have kind of 6 characters here. We have 2 girls here and 4 males here. So we have the idea like this. We have our principal, who is Dr. Jekyll, who is a very famous scientist in the Victorian London, being respected and very concentrated about his research. So he is the one who would be like Jekyll for the whole show. And also we have his lover and a girl who he really likes, whose name is Elizabeth, who was a chambermaid in a very, not high-class hotel. So there's kind of class differentiation between that 2 persons. And we have the rest of the 4 people who is ensemble, like all of them is going to be Hyde, like at some point of the show. So we have Hyde 1, who is Utterson, and Hyde 1, and he is the lawyer of Dr. Jekyll, and who is a very proper and middle high class gentleman in London that period. Then we have Hyde 2, who is one of his Hyde name, and also he's Sir Denver Carew, who is like a kind of clown, old, conservative but powerful scientist in that period. And also he's Anfield, who is another scientist, and Sanderson Inspector, who is police and private inspector throughout the show. And the most powerful or the most active Hyde is Hyde 3, who is played by Stephen Lin in the show, and he is Hyde 3, Dr. Lennon, who is the roommate of Dr. Jekyll in his college and PhD pursuing period. And also he's other role like police doctor and a surgical student, but in a very short amount of time. And then we have the lady here, who is Hyde 4, and he is Paul, who is a Dr. Jekyll's butler. So, and also he is the role like prostitute, maid, surgical student, police doctor, and old woman. So everyone is playing multiple roles except Dr. Jekyll and Elizabeth. So that comes to challenges, is like how they can present so many roles on stage. So after look through the whole script and talk with the director, who is Cynthia White, and we agreed like we want to find something common on all the 4 Hyde, and which means they have to they can show it and hide it, show it and hide it when they transition from Hyde to different character. So in Geoffrey Hatcher's version, there was a red door, which represent the laboratory for where Dr. Jekyll bring himself as Hyde. So I just try to borrow that idea to the costume too. So what's going to happen is all the 4 Hyde, as what we see here, would have a closed Victorian frock coat. Then when they open it, there'll be rough red bloody texture under it. So what's going to happen is when they're HYDE, they just quickly button the code and show the red to the audience. And when they're not HYDE, so they just just quickly open it, there'll be rough red bloody texture under it. So what's going to happen is when they're HYDE, they just quickly button the code and show the red to the audience. And when they're not HYDE, so they just just quickly button back. So it's great. We know it in the early period, so the actors have enough time to play with it, to really get familiar with all the actions, all the details, to help them bring the characters on stage. So because they don't really have too much time to switch, like sometimes you are 2 lines as HYDE, then you come back to the other character. So we try to reduce the button work for all the HYDE. So we try to use 2, no more than 2 button for all the code, to let the actors to get used to it. But it's great because we got a great pool of experienced actors. They pick up right away, and things start to work out. Yeah. That's
really cool.
Yeah, eventually. So yeah.
And that's a small detail that our audience might not even pick up right now, but
Yeah.
So how long does it take for you to prepare something like this? I see that there's a lot of mood pictures here. It almost looks like Pinterest here.
Yeah.
Where you must have started researching a while ago. So how long does it take?
Okay, so I think I start 4 months earlier before opening, because it's really taking time for me to finish my research and have conversation with the director, and also communication with the costume shop, because we have to make sure everything is financially available and laborally available. So I think I start around 4 months ahead. I start with research. I start my conversation with the director with all these pictures, hey, do you like that style? Do you like that style line? Do you like that beard? And so things start like that. And then since we'll say, okay, so I like that, but can we shift into another direction for that detail? I say yes. So then I start with my sketches, which is the first round of conversation. Then we have design prelim, which means it's a time when scenic costume lighting and start to sit together, and we start to talk. Okay, that is so that might be the visual reality on the visual result of the whole production. So I have to get the permission of the whole production team, and of course the director too. So I start to move to real rendering, which is exactly as what you see here. I start with sketch still. I put them into color, and I finish them. Then I send this information to the director to get final approve. So after the director is approved everything, so we come to the design final, which means everything has to be done at that point. I need to have my original color palette, my rendering. Some of my swatch sample, it might not have to be the real fabric, and my paperwork, which is a character breakdown about how many characters I have, what kind of piece of costume I'm looking for, and also when and where they will be on stage. So that's a whole package. I need a hand in shop in that moment, I think. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you make all your costumes here for all the shows?
Yes, it's a great theater because we have everything in house, which is great. We have great staff member here. Because I teach in another city, I teach in Tampa, so I drive here every Friday and Saturday, right? And we try to shrink, and we try to make all the fitting happen in these 2 days. So I'm lucky I got around 3 to 4 weeks built in time. So I will see actors every week for once. Then all the staff member, we will start to talk together. Okay, well, this mock-up work, what kind of job needs to be done? So from Tuesday to Thursday, and our staff is to keep working on, for instance, adjust the patterns and finish the mock-up on the cutting real fabric. So eventually, during the week of Hurricane Day, we got the chance to put everything together on stage. So yeah, it's moving process step by step.
That's awesome. So we're going to go into the costume factory, the costume shop.
Costume shop, yeah.
To go take a look at some of the stuff that's already done, because JEKYLL and HYDE actually opens today.
Yes.
We are in the costume shop here at Orlando Shakes, and Yao is hard at work, but she has laid out some of the Jekyll and Hyde costumes right here, and they're ready. They're ready to go.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. So from our like original concept discussion, and we know it's a Victorian 1888. But what we're trying to do is to get something more stylish and more interesting. So which means we're not exactly follow all the details of the Victorian frock coat. So we try to keep the silhouette as what it looks like great lapel and the length of the coat and the number of the buttons. So we keep that, but at the same time, we want to use different cutaway texture contrast to create a more differentiation compared to the straight period. So I was trying to use wool, velvet, leather, and then broadcloth to create interesting contrast on stage. Okay, come back to the red vest idea. So that is the general look of Dr. Jekyll. So you can see there is a red started popping out here. And this is the vest for Paul, who is one of the Hyde. So when they start to stand together, when she become Hyde, we start to see the kind of echoing of red. So start to give the audience a hint, oh, she's a Hyde right now. Okay, so that is another Hyde, who is Hyde 3. If you start to button it, you will start to find there's red vest started coming out. So yeah, so when you start to see, because elements of red is similar to the Hyde, but different to the Jekyll, you start to feel, okay, they might have some connection of these two and that, but there might be different. So that's what we're trying to bring out to the audience.
That's awesome, and these pieces are so detailed, and I know it's just amazing. You can see all the research that you put into it. I see the Victorian cut, I see all this fabric and all this. So where does the fabric come from? Like, do you order it special and get here? And
yeah, I was cause for some personal reason I went to like northeastern of American with my husband, and so I got the chance to be in New York. So I'm very lucky. I can get a chance to go to different fabric shop in New York, and to shop all this great fabric. So the red trim you see here is from M&J. It's the biggest trim shop in the United States. And also when it comes to our Elizabeth skirt, a lot of fabric is from Mood, which is another big fashion fabric trend in America too. And also a lot of things is from locally here, like this. Red velvet is from Sewing Studio in Orlando.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is another great
a little bit of local and a little bit of New York flair, and it just comes from everywhere. And these are real. All of this stuff is created right here in-house in this costume shop for almost every single show, you were saying.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's so soft.
These are our Jekyll and Hyde costumes. It's a really cool place here. There's like everything, all sorts of colors and fur. There's a tail over there.